Hello everyone, there has been two big updates from the house of Mahindra tonight. They come in the form of two new all-electric SUVs, the prices of which have been announced tonight. You can see they've been making all kinds of buzz tonight. There are a lot of people here and not enough cars to go around. But bear with us as we will tell you everything you need to know about their two new electric SUVs. They're of course called the B6E, and keep in mind it's not called as BE6E because they made sure that we pronounce it correctly. It's called B6E, and their range of cars also come under the brand of B, not BE, as a lot of people have said. The other car that's been announced today is the XEV 9e that you see in front of you, all adorned in white. Now, the difference here is that this is not called as ZEV 9e. Instead, it's called as the XEV 9e. So, I'm going to take over the camera, take you around the car, do my best to show you most of it, and you need to subscribe to the autoX YouTube channel as well, because after this walk around video, very soon, in a couple of days' time, we will be bringing you our first drive impressions. Having said all of that, let's get to it. Starting off with the Mahindra XEV 9e. Of course, we've got the 6e as well. We'll try to go over them one by one, but we'll start off with the bigger of the two cars. Let's get the first thing out of the way, which is the pricing. This one at the entry-level variant will cost you at about 19 lakh rupees ex-showroom, whereas this one will cost you about 22 lakh rupees ex-showroom. Now, Mahindra has not revealed prices of other variants of their cars. They've just given an indicative pricing of what their on-road prices of the base models will be like. But the deliveries of the car, they've confirmed, will be in the second half of February and in the first half of March. The full pricing should come out in the first quarter of 2025. So let's start taking a look at the car. Now let's start with the B6E. Now this is the more affordable of the two electric SUVs. We'll show you the other car in a bit. But let's talk about design. Let's talk about what we see as the exterior highlights. The first thing that you would notice is this B logo. Now this is the new brand identity for the electric cars that will come from the house of Mahindra. That's up over there. And what's also interesting is that they have done this sort of stickering at the front, which also includes a QR code, as you can see there. Talking of QR codes, well, you have one over here as well. Now this says 3. So what my understanding is, of course, there's a lot of rush, as you can see around here. 3 is the third from the bottom variant. I don't know how many of them there will be because the base model is just 1 and a QR code. Moving on from the QR codes, let's talk about design. Of course, you've got this new shape, C-shaped light signature at the front of the car. What's flanking between them is an all-black design element, and in there is where your light setup is. That is where your headlamps are going to be. Overall, a really sporty front-end design. What's interesting is that it has really short overhangs. Now, what I also want to bring to your notice is this particular design element over here. As you can see, it's very sports car-ish. These are actual vents. What they're supposed to do is that they would allow air to pass through here and over the car. This will help the car in its total range and in making it more aerodynamically efficient. Let's talk about wheels. 20-inch wheels is what you see here. Of course, they have a flat side, really intricate detailing. This, of course, is also something that you see in a lot of electric vehicles. That is what you see over here as well. What's also interesting is this gloss black wheel arch cladding over here, which actually extends throughout the side of the car. Now, at first glance, especially in this red color, it looks really nice, I have to say. However, as you can see, it's not faring too well to the number of people that's around here. And I suppose that when you're driving this car, well, keeping it clean and tidy will be a bit of a task, especially because you have these really intricate design details at the bottom of the sides of the car. The other thing to note are the door handle situation. Of course, they sit flush when they're closed, but this is how you're supposed to open the front door. And for those who want to sit at the back, this is where you open the rear door. As you can see, you don't have a conventionally placed door handle over here. It is also here in the gloss black cladding where you find the charging port of the car. In case you forget what it is, it says charge port right here. And if you open it, this is where you plug in the charger. What's also very nice is this lit up element over here. Of course, you have the new logo over here at the back as well. And again, a lot of these gloss black elements over here at the back too. Again, C-shaped light signature at the back as well. What's interesting is this is not connected as you would expect, because that is what the light signature of the XE V9e is. The B6e gets this part. Last but not the least, I also like the spoilers, really sporty. Overall, it's a car that has a lot of presence wherever you go, and it certainly looks apart when compared to other cars in its price bracket. Now, before I step into the car, I have to bring to your attention this pull to open tab that you see here. Now, this is not something that is to help you unbox the car. This is the actual door handle to open the door. You have to pull on this strap to unlock the door. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Essentially, this is something that is deployed in really fast performance cars because they want to save weight. It's carbon fiber everything, but this is an EV. It's a style choice. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Well, I've finally managed to sit inside the B6e. The first thing I want to show you is the key of the car. Now, the good part is this key can be magnetically put in this particular slot right here. I think this is a really neat integration, but once you're done fascinating about where the key goes, as I just have, what you'll notice is this distinct separation over here between the passenger and the driver's side half of the cabin. Again, it's a design choice. Does it work for you or not? Let me know in the comment section. What's interesting is this also houses the AC vents, as I can see over here. Now, this is the first that I've seen in a car in this price bracket. What's interesting is Mahindra is saying this takes a lot of inspiration from a fighter jet. So what you have is this throttle control inspired gear lever over here, which will help you select between the gears. What you can't see from that side is that on the other side of the gear lever, there's also a really nice integration of the parking brake. Again, two big screens, as is the theme with most of the modern cars. They house these new infotainment systems from the house of Mahindra. What they say is that they have gone to great lengths, and they explained it to us in great lengths as well, that they have packed in a lot of power and storage and all the tidbits that you need in order to make this a smooth affair. So putting it to the test, first experience says the touch response is really nice. There's clearly no lag in animations, and you also get this new all digital instrument cluster over here, which is supposed to show all the necessary information as well. What also will catch your attention is this new style of steering wheel. Now, this also has a gloss black panel in the middle of the steering wheel. Where have we seen that before? Well, if you know which car I'm referring to, let me in the comment section. Now, in our experience, gloss black panels don't really fare that well, and we have a lot of it over here in the center tunnel as well. We'll only have to wait and see how this fares out in the real world. But as first experiences go, the flat bottom steering wheel feels pretty nice. Last but not the least, the last bit I want to talk about from the aircraft inspiration is this panel of switches over here, which is also from an aircraft, which neatly brings me to this little camera over here. Now, we saw something like this in the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, a review that you would have seen on the AutoX YouTube channel. Now, this is here for a couple of reasons. If you want to take your Zoom call while you're driving, you can do that too. But I guess it's not something that I can wrap my head around. Is it a useful feature? I would really like to know in the comments. Now, before I hop onto the back seat, I have to talk about this cleverly integrated storage compartment over here. Wireless phone charging, you can keep your knickknacks, you have a cup holder over here as well. So this is neat use of space. And last but not the least, we have to talk about the audio system. Mahindra says these cars are the first ones produced in India to come with Dolby Atmos support. If you are someone who likes your music, that is something that will excite you. Having said that, let's hop onto the back. All right, now let's get inside. Wait, hold on. That's not supposed to happen, right? As you can see, I really don't have much of clearance over here. For reference, I'm not that tall. I'm only 5'11", and this bit hit my head twice. I'm not sure how to feel about that. It's really thrown me off of my flow of information. But yes, that is something that's really not something I've experienced in any of the modern cars that I've sit in. Moving on, let's talk about the rear seat experience. Of course, seat is comfortable. As is the case with most EVs, you have a battery pack right under the floor, so you get pros and cons. Pros is that you don't have any transmission tunnel over here, so it's a flat floor. So if you, in theory, want to have 3 people sit abreast at the back seat, the middle passenger will have space to keep their leg. And as is the case with electric vehicles, the con that comes with it is that you sit a little bit knees up. So it's a seating position you have to get used to. Of course, as you saw earlier, you have a drop-down armrest with cup holders in it. You can also put in a screen over here through this attachment that Mahindra is offering. Now, remember, we only have the base spec prices, so we don't know what all that you see here will come to the car. But something that really stands out is the sunroof. I don't know how much of it is visible, but it has these lines running across it, and these strips actually light up and have different light settings and mood settings that you can change. Now, the only other car that I've seen this in is the BMW i7, which of course cost multiple times than this car. So it's a really nice integration. Now, we Indians love sunroofs. This panoramic unit, well, with lights, I think is something that will be a crowd favorite. Closing remarks, well, the headroom is not too good. I really like the center console panel from the back here. It's got this really nice design element. You've got these toggle switches which help you close and open the vent. Again, really nice. You have a magazine holder at the back of the seat. You have this little slot where you can fit in the attachment and probably put in a screen. The final version of it will look something like that. I hope I'm not missing, but there's a lot to talk about. Overall experience is the rear seat is a little bit cramped for someone of my size and height. Let's get outside the car. Now, coming to the back of the car, 445 liters of boot space. The good part is the boot lid actually opens along with the rear glass panel, so you have a large access area, but the loading lift is a little bit high. Underneath here, you have a space saver tire and space to keep your other utilities. And the good part is, with just the press of a button, you can electrically close the tailgate as well. So that's the Mahindra BE. Now let me try to get my hands on the XE V9e. So this here is finally the XE V9e. The front end design is slightly different to the BE as you see here. There's a lot more black happening over here, and the C-shaped lights are a bit more aggressive. But when we talk about the XE V9e, well, the design is a lot more cleaner, and to me personally, this looks a lot more better. Again, a little less gloss black element here at the front. As we mentioned, this will be a little bit of a cumbersome affair to maintain. This should be slightly better. But what's nice is that you've got these design elements running across the supposed grille of the car, giving it a little bit of texture at the front. Again, you've got the connected light design. This is where the headlamps are housed. Up here, up top, you see the ADAS Level 2 Plus panel. And to the sides, it looks, again, largely similar to the BE. So I'm not going to go too much into the design detail. Of course, you've got the QR code happening over here. This, again, I suppose, is the third from the bottom variant that we've got over here. Again, I don't know how many variants there will be, but this is what we have. You've got flush door handles. The rear door handle is over here at the top. Gloss black surrounds on the window sills. This is the rear end look of the XE V9e. This, of course, gets the connected light design. Looks a lot more futuristic than the BE, than the BE, mind you, that you see over there. And in comparison, this is how the rear end design of the XE V9e looks like. Now, let's get inside. ये इतना ही नीचे जाता है?
I think it will be already down.
It's full down? Okay. All right, thank you. Well, I tried. This is as low as this seat goes. And if I try to get into it, again, I have the same situation going on over here. I hit my head over here too, as I did in the BE. Is this going to be a problem? Let me know in the comments. Now, if you talk about the interior of the XE V9e, well, you don't have that thing running in the middle. It's a lot more conventionally designed, as you would expect in any other car in this segment. Again, you have that gloss black panel treatment on the steering wheel, on the center console, on this lid as well. So keeping it dust free and scratch free Well, that's again a concern that I have to mention here once again. Talking of gloss black, there's a lot of it running across the dash as well. But the good part is this panel right here houses 3 infotainment systems. All of this combined makes it about 41 or 43 inches. But what really is of importance is what is the function of all these screens. If you're seated here at the passenger seat, you have your own screen. Again, good touch response, a lot of things going on, lots of apps. So you can sit here and entertain yourself per se. This again is where all the conventional controls are housed. The good part is at all times you will have HVAC controls over here and a volume button right here as well. Again, this is all touch based. I'm not a big fan of it, but at least it's always there in any mode that you go in. You have a similar digital instrument cluster. Again, the multimedia experience in this is a lot more, but feeling wise, the car is quite similar. Of course, it feels slightly more spacious because you don't have that center element, but that's about all the difference that I can make at first glance. Now, before I hop onto the back, I wanted to show you this. I really like this lighting element over here, and I also like this lighting element over here. Nice lights on the XE V9e. Let's hop onto the back. Okay, now I'm going to sit here at the back. Getting inside is a little bit easier as compared to the B6e because the entry bit, as you can see here, is a bit more squared off and not that aggressively curved at the back. So getting in is a little bit easier. Of course, same bits continue, flat floor. You can have 3 people sit abreast over here. Again, the conventional design language shows a bit more over at the back as well because you have a conventionally designed rear AC vent housing over here with a space to keep your phone as well. Again, the brilliant bit is the lighting element in the glass roof over here. I think you can see it much better over here. Looks really nice. Is it a party trick? Is this something that you'll get bored of in a few weeks? Well, that is something I want to know in the comment section once again. The other bits that I like is that you get conventionally designed door handles, as you can see on that door over here. And what's also nice is that you get these blinds over here at the back. Space-wise, headroom is decent. I don't have anything to complain. Legroom is decent. It's a lot more spacious car. This to me, at first glance, makes a lot more sense than the B6e. Last but not the least, let's talk about boot space. Of course, you get this nice cover over here, and it's a little bit more than the B6e as well. Again, you have a high lip mount, but space-wise, it's doing a much better job. Again, the whole thing opens up along with the rear glass panel, so good access area, and you can close the boot with the press of a button. So there you have it. These were our first impressions of the 2 new born electric SUVs from the house of Mahindra. As you can understand, there's a lot of people and a lot of buzz around these cars. We've tried to make this first impression as in-depth as possible. In case I forgot anything, let me know in the comment section what I've forgotten. And tomorrow morning, I will be driving this car. We have a couple of days when the embargo lifts, so make sure you subscribe to the autoX YouTube channel to be the first to see the first drive impressions of both of these cars. And I'm really going to look forward to the comment section of this video. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be hanging down there. Thank you so much. See you around.